It's Coming Home podcast. So a new podcast between me, Jamie Waffles Footy, and I would like to welcome in the co-host, which is Adam. Do you want to welcome yourself in? Adam, how are you today, mate?
Yeah, good, Jamie. Adam from AGN Football. Great to be here, as always.
Yeah, and what we're touching on today, people, basically, we are doing the England versus Serbia reaction. We're going to do a bit of the match ratings. We are going to do a bit of everything, what we thought of the game, and so forth. So that leads me to pull up the shared screen. So let's pull this up, people, so everyone can see it. Can you see this on your end, Adam?
Yep.
Adam? Yeah, you can see
Got
it?
you. Yep, all good.
Yeah, so let me pull us to the side. So we should be at this. No, not that one there. Sorry, people. There we have it. So we're starting off. Do you want to touch on what you think, how it went today, brother? How the game went yesterday?
Yeah, I thought we were excellent in the first half. It was quite literally a game of two halves. Excellent in the first half, and a bit disappointing in the second half. We just were on fire in that first sort of 25, 30 minutes. Saka looked fantastic. Bellingham was running rings around everyone. And it looked like it was going to be a really convincing win. And after all, we thought initially it would be quite a tight game. But in the end, we were right because England seemed to, I don't know really, Jamie. I think they seemed to sort of sponge up the pressure almost. They got the goal and then they sort of, in the second half, sat back and dropped deeper.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting, really. We didn't really have an outball. I know Kane sort of was there to hold it up, but we didn't seem to have a very reliable outball where we could then transition and counter. So yeah, but it's 3 points and it's job done and on to Denmark.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with that, brother. I think the first half, Bukayo Saka, Jude Bellingham, Mark Guehi, and Declan Rice throughout the game. Declan Rice was my man of the match for the whole game. But yeah, Bukayo Saka was exploiting their left back. Jude Bellingham was majestic, absolutely majestic. I don't know about you, brother, but watching Jude Bellingham yesterday, I didn't realise he was that good. Because obviously we get to see him at Real Madrid and we get to see him procreate over there. We don't really get to see him as much over here because I don't know about you, but I'm predominantly Premier League football, and that's kind of what I do. And it just showed, like, it might be mad me saying this and overrating players, but Jude Bellingham reminded me of Zinedine Zidane in that first half. The way he played, the way, the touches when he Cruyff turned and the way he got stuck in, that was Zidane. That's how Zidane used to play. People think Zidane was just this majestic player when he really, really wasn't just a majestic player. So, Jude Bellingham, great first half. Bukayo Saka, great first half. Guehi, there was a lot of question marks over Guehi. Everyone was saying to me on my TikTok lives and on YouTube live, also on here, regarding Guehi, that Konsa should be playing in front of him. It was only his fourth appearance with John Stones next to him. And I thought he soaked up the pressure very, very well. And I think he outperformed John Stones. I thought John Stones looked very, very leggy. I mean, he looked a bit slow off the mark. It's because he's coming back from an injury, the same as Bukayo Saka. So we do a typical Gareth Southgate thing where we get a lead, we get comfortable, and we sit back, which I don't think it should have happened. And in the second half, Serbia came out and they swapped their formation and swapped their tactics and made substitutions. So it was a completely different game for them as it was for us. I mean, what Southgate did, it took him too long to realise what had happened. And by the time he made the changes, they already had a grasp of the game. That's kind of my thinking, the first and second half. And I thought, we're going to get through the player ratings here, but that's just something I'd touch on. Right, so we shall move over. This is what the Sky Sports have put, and we will just kind of agree whether the player ratings are correct or if they are not correct. Jordan Pickford is 7. I can agree with it. I think that save was a great save, but I do think personally, if he was a bigger keeper, I don't mean to put him down because I don't like putting people down. I'm a very, very positive England fan and an Arsenal fan. But I think if he was a taller keeper, he wouldn't have had to have made such a spectacular save. But yeah, taller keeper, he made that spectacular save. There was one point where He punched when he should have been catching. He should be reassuring. He should have caught the ball, dropped on the ball, and soaked up all the pressure for us. But in all, I think Jordan Pickford had a reasonable game. I think a 7's a fair rating. What about you, Ads?
Yeah, I think Pickford deserved a 7. I completely agree with the punch. That looked like he could have come and claimed it. It looked like it was there to sort of take it. One of those big moments where a goalie sort of takes the ball and goes to the floor and roars at the defenders. It's a very sort of uniting sort of moment. But with his punch, he looked a little bit nervy. But then on the whole, he had a very solid game. Made, as you said, a very, very good save. And let's not forget, Serbia were pushing. They were really pushing. It's one of those games where watching it, you thought, 1-1 is coming here at some point. And it's thanks to Pickford, that we kept that clean sheet, as well as the defenders. I completely agree. I think Guehi did very, very well. Seems like a very calm, assured young man. And a great performance from him. But yeah, Pickford 7. Agree.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, brother. We've got 2 people in here currently at the moment. Obviously, it's not on my Twitter. It's on my YouTube live, which is Jamie Waffles Footy, and it's over on AGN Football on TikTok, and not TikTok, on Twitter and YouTube. So if you can hit that 3 punch combination, so if you're looking at me, bam, 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 3 punch combination by liking, commenting, and subscribing down below. Don't forget, it's free to like. It's free to comment, and it's free to follow people. So we're giving you this good content, this juicy, juicy content on this England performance. So I think the best you can do for us is just give us a little follow. Give your boys a little follow, people. Give the boys, back the boys. It's coming home, as it says in the title. Anyway, moving on. Let me go back to the tab because it's scrolled past where I wanted to be. I don't know where it's gone. So can you see that now where it says Kyle Walker, brother, on your end?
Yes, I can. Carl Walker.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. I've gone to Jamie's. What did I just do there? I went to my emails by accident. There we have it. So, outstanding. This is what they've put. Outstanding on both ends. The Man City captain was important, sweeping up early counter-attacks, and England suffocated Serbia early on. Kyle Walker, my perspective, I don't think he deserves an 8. Don't know about you, but I think an 8 is a massive, massive overrating. I don't think he was poor. He kept a clean sheet. We won 1-0 at the end of the day. But I think a 7 is a more fair overall rating, where I would put Guehi more towards that scale. I think Kyle Walker deserves about a 7. He did play well, but in some moments, I think he was laggy, and he just looked like, it's hard to say. It looked like he played a lot of football at one point, I think, and I think that happened with a lot of the footballers, and we'll move on over to that at some point. And what do you think on Kyle Walker, brother?
Yeah, I would concur, Jamie, and I think part of the reason I would concur as well, he had a really great chance where you thought, just put your foot through it. He was in a great position and he tried to cross it rather than just smashing it, and he was in a really good position just to put his foot through that ball. And most likely probably would have scored. But he seemed kind of caught in 2 minds, ended up crossing the ball. No one got on the end of it. And I agree. I don't think an 8 is warranted. Had he scored, then definitely yes, but he didn't. And I thought the 2 centre backs together probably looked more assured, I would say, especially Guehi. Obviously, we know Stones is a safe pair of hands. But yeah, I think Walker for me would get a 7 as well. I don't think he was. I mean, 8 sort of makes us feel that he had a really good game, and he didn't have a really good game. He had a solid game, but not a really good game. So for me, he would be coming in at a 7 out of 10 as well.
A complete agreement with you there, bro. Complete agreement. I did forget about that opportunity until you've just mentioned it then, where I think he should have decided earlier, and he should have just struck it across the face of the goal rather than looking for someone. Struck it across the face of the goal, because if the keeper puts a palm out, tries to save it, it's bouncing, hitting off someone and going in. That's what I think personally. But moving on over to John Stones, as we can see there, John Stones was a 7. If we're going to rate Kyle Walker at a 7, I'm going to give John Stones a 6.5. I know he kept a clean sheet, but I do think he looked in that second half, I remember Dusan Vlahovic just running by him, and John Stones looked really, really slow. And I really, really rate John Stones, and I think John Stones is one of the best central defenders in the league. I just think it looked like he was coming back from an injury, which he was. And I think that he weren't poor, but he weren't up to his usual best. And I think a 6.5 is a fair rating rather than a 7. I don't know about you, brother.
Yeah, I think Stones is coming in at a 6 or 6.5. I mean, yeah, he wasn't brilliant. It was just we did. The thing is, Jamie, we didn't look really assured in defence. For me, we didn't. For me, I think we kind of got away with it to a certain extent. Um, I don't think we got the clean sheet because of phenomenal defensive play. And often you will say that when see a team gets a clean sheet, you think they've done something right. But I think it was a little bit more by luck than judgment for me. And given that Stones was in that centre back position, I think if you're being generous, you're giving him a 6.5. If you're being on the harsher side, you're probably giving him a 6. Nothing special.
Yeah, I completely agree. We've got a stats board up here from Sky Sports, which said his passing accuracy was 93.75%. His heading clearances was 4, his clearances were 6, his duels win were 5, and his aerial duels were 4, which is very surprising for me because I don't
Mm,
think. I think it's more with the stats here. I think it's more what you see with your eyes rather than what you see by the stats. So I'm going to move on over.
mm,
Mark Guehi, 8. I think that is a very justified rating. I think 8 is a
mm,
very fair rating. There was a
mm,
lot of question marks, like I've touched on, about him going into this, and Conson maybe should have played in front of him, Joe Gomez. There's a few questions over on my TikTok lives and over on YouTube live and so forth. But Mark Guehi, I definitely think he deserves an 8. He stepped up to the mark. He dealt very well with the likes of Dusan Vlahovic, Mitrovic, what are both very big lads. They can get in, they can ruffle you about. They can. We know what these Serbian tactics are like. These dark arts. And I think Mark Guehi is very justified for an 8 out of 10. What about you, brother?
Yeah, certainly an 8. I would be tempted to even go higher. You've got to consider that this is his first tournament game playing for England. And I think he's only had a handful of caps, maybe 2, 3, 4, something like that. Not very many. I mean, this young man is playing a pressure tournament in a team that put a load of pressure on. Like you said, got Mitrovic, Vlahovic. You've got, creative midfielders like Milinkovic, Savic. You've got a really strong Serbian side. It's not like he's come in against, Azerbaijan or somebody like that. He's come in against a really decent, solid European side in a major tournament, and he looked like he'd always been there. And I think that's the biggest compliment that you can give him: the fact that he looked so in place and he didn't look at all out of place. So I think he had a phenomenal game, better of the two defenders by a long way for me. I'd probably give him a 9, to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought he was outstanding.
Yeah, I think I can agree on that. I think a 9 could be justified. I think we will settle at 8.5, halfway between both. Are you in agreement with that?
Yep,
8.5, I think it's fair rating. Let's
yep.
move on over to Kieran Trippier. As it says in the title here, people, Mr. Reliable. So I do agree with that. I think a 7 is justified for Kieran Trippier. I do definitely think a 7. The thing is, with him in that left back position, you would have noticed him if he did something wrong. The fact that we did not notice him as much, I think that showed how well he actually did play in that position. And I think he performed well. He did bomb forward at some points, but not too progressively. And when we sat back, I think he did well. Even though he's a smaller player, he did win some aerial duels and he did win some tackles when needed. What do you think, Kieran Trippier? 7?
Yeah, I would agree with the 7. Yeah, Trippier did fine. He did well. And yeah, at times he looked quite impressive. So yeah, I mean, putting it simply, a very solid, competent performance. So 7 out of
Yeah, I'll
10 is
come back
fine.
to that, brother. I'll come back to that. Let's move on over to Declan Rice. Sorry, I was just messaging someone because they were seeing why I wasn't on live. So I've just told them I'm over on YouTube live. Declan Rice, let's start off with the numbers. So he got a 9 rating, which I think is completely fair.
Mm,
Passing attempted 81, passing completed 78. So he only misplayed 3 passes. Ball recovery 10,
mm,
96.3% passing accuracy, and his touches was 90.
mm.
Declan Rice was my man of the match. Jude Bellingham would have been for that first half, but overall he protected our defence very, very well when we were under the cosh. He won some important tackles, some important interceptions. What we see, what he does every week over at Arsenal, and this is why I said beforehand, and I think you can back me on here, Adam. I said it over on your podcast. I said it over on my podcast. I said it all over TikTok lives. Declan Rice is England's most important player. And I think you can back me when I said that as well, because everyone agreed with me over on your podcast. Are you agreeing to a 9? And what did I literally say this before the game?
Wholeheartedly agree with you, mate. And you most certainly did. Yeah, I mean, he's the engine room, isn't he? He's the absolute engine room of the team. And you know what kind of machinery or vehicle runs without an engine? Exactly none. Right. So Declan Rice is the engine room. He's the mechanics behind everything. You may not always sort of notice what he does because he does so much. He does so much for the team. So I think a 9 is absolutely fair. And he had an excellent game. And even in the second half, where a lot of our team looked like they'd dropped, Declan Rice still maintained his performance throughout the game. So I think a 9 out of 10, man of the match. And I think the question I'd throw out, Jamie, is he's got to be a future England captain, hasn't he?
100%, brother. 100%. I think once the Harry Kane goes, Kyle Walker will be on his way as well, and so will the likes of Kieran Trippier, and they're the other 2 captains. I think he is England's next captain. If Harry Kane's not at the next tournament, which I think he probably will make that next tournament, I think after that it will be Declan Rice leading the line as our captain. Is that what you're thinking, bro?
Yeah, completely. I think once Kane, hangs his boots up internationally, it will be Declan Rice to the fore, and he's growing as a player. And it's a very exciting time to be an England fan because he's still so young. Declan Rice, he's only 24, 25. Yeah. So he's got an amazing career ahead of him. Exciting stuff.
I'm in complete agreement with you, and we got him half price. Anyways, boys, but I don't know about you. When he come over to us and we pay 105 million pound, I didn't realise he was that good. And even for England, I didn't realise he was this good.
No.
He's so good, man. Like, I love him. I love Declan Rice. I love his attitude. I just love everything about him. I really, really do. Moving on over to TAA, which we know as Trent Alexander-Arnold. An 8 rating, I don't think is justified. I think a 7 is a bit more fair.
Yeah.
I think a 7 is a bit more fair in my eyes. I think let me move this mic. I think he played some parts very, very well. I don't think Harry Kane coming in dropping deep helped, because I think that's what Alexander-Arnold was there for. But I do think Trent, and the one thing that people didn't notice, I think Trent actually covered Jude Bellingham quite a lot. So that gave him that free roam to play the way we've seen Jude Bellingham perform at an exceptional level. I think that is because of the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold covering the spaces a lot, getting here, there, and everywhere. And I think he did start looking a little bit laggy, started doing some misplaced passes. But I think a 7 is a fair rating for TAA. What do you think, brother?
Yeah, completely agree again, Jamie. I was quite surprised to see that they rated him an 8 out of 10, really, because I don't think he was. It sounds harsh to say I don't think he was very good, but he was competent. He was solid again, but he wasn't really, really good. So for me, a 7 out of 10. There was one moment that sort of epitomised his performance, really. Now, Trent Alexander-Arnold, of course, known for his amazing free kicks. He's been doing it for Liverpool over the years, scored many a blinder for Liverpool. And he was lining it up, and it was all taking, a while. And we're thinking, is he going to knock this into the top bins? And sort of a weak attempt straight into the wall, which was a little bit of an anticlimax. But that said, on the more positive note, he did the job, and again didn't look out of place in the position he was playing, and he did spray a few balls around and kept things moving. So I'd give him a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree on that, brother. I agree. I'm going to move down the screen for people. If you are watching this over on playback on my YouTube, Jamie Waffles Footy, remember to hit that 3-punch combination by liking, subscribing, and commenting down below. So, bam. And then, and over on the AGN network as well, if we can hit that that like, that comment, and that subscribe. It's all for free, people. It's all for free. So let's move on over to Jude Bellingham. What they've put has a 9. Wow. 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 Do you wanna take the lead on Jude Bellingham, my brother?
I would absolutely love to take the lead on this one. Yeah, what a superb performance. Now, this is a man of what, 20 years of age. Now,
Yeah.
the way he played in that game was outstanding. There's one moment that I want to take a little more in-depth look at. Now, there was a moment where the ball had gone out for a throw, I think, and he went
Yeah.
up to the Serbian player and just
Yeah.
nudged him and
Hmm.
just sort of left, a little nudging on him
Yeah.
and then sort of roared in his face.
Hmm.
Now, that is the kind of edge that you want to see in a game.
Yeah.
He's saying to the rest of his teammates, look at me, I'm standing up, I'm up for it. This is a fight, and this is a fight that we're going to win, lads. And it was really good to see that because for many a year, I've thought to myself, England, a little bit like Arsenal, really. England for a time were a bit too nice, if you know
You
what
know
I
what?
mean.
Do you know what, Aj? Yeah, I've just been on a podcast over on the amateur podcast just before, and they asked me this question about Jude Bellingham, about what he happened in this moment, and they said that it kind of reminded them that he has that Diego Simeone moment in him where he can get himself in trouble. And I said the complete opposite. I said I can see that side of it, but it
Yeah.
reminded me of Arsenal before. With
Yes.
Granit Xhaka when he used to try and like rejuvenate the players and say, "Look, we're getting booted all over the pitch. Bam! There you have it. There
Yeah.
you have it."
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I, I loved it. I loved it. But
Yeah,
carry on,
it was
bro.
it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And I was watching the game with a couple of mates of mine, and they said, "Oh, that you don't like to see that." I said, "No, you do like to see that because he's showing that he's up for it. This is a fight. If we're going to win this Euros, it's not going to be nicey. We're going to need to dig in, grind out results like we did yesterday, and fight. And we need that fight." And Bellingham led that team. I don't think we've seen as impressive a performance in an England shirt since Wayne Rooney in Euro 2004. That is how good it was. So I think I would be giving him, a 9. I don't want to give him a 10 because we don't want to overhype the lad, but a 9 is certainly correct. Excellent performance.
100% agreed. Do you know when you said fight and win? Have you ever watched that American do it? Fight and win. You know that really crap chant. Have you ever seen that geezer? What does it when he's got the microphone in the American stand in that? I think it was like New York Red Bulls or something. Something. As soon as you said fight and win, I started creasing straight away. But yeah, Jude Bellingham, absolutely exceptional. Wow, wow. Hey, Jude.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely quality, my brother. He
He
looks like a seasoned veteran.
does.
He
He
looked
does.
like 30, 31 years old in his peak,
Yeah.
running the
Yeah.
show in that first half. And I think that second half, he got leggy and
Yeah.
he was tired and he should have been brought off a little bit earlier, in my thoughts. I know he was
Mm.
great, but I think he needed to be brought off because he only just returned from Real Madrid on Monday or Tuesday, I think. We
Mm.
have a comment in here, brother, which I'm just going to touch on. It's the Dala Diaries. So the Dala Diaries, Foden, Stones dropped for the next game, and that's from a
Yeah.
City fan. Fair enough, my
Yeah.
brother. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll elaborate on the question, and then if you want to follow on from that, bro.
Yeah. Of
Yeah.
course, Jamie. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Foden, I said to you going into this, whether it's an Arsenal player or it's a different type of player, I said that if Bukayo Saka played poorly in the first game, he deserved to be dropped for Palmer. And I
Mm.
think the same principle applies for Phil Foden. I think he
Mm.
will go with the same 11, but we will touch on that a bit further on. But I
Mm.
do think that John Stones should stay because we can't replace him. I think John Stones needs to stay in the squad. But Phil Foden should be dropped. And
Mm.
I'm indecisive between a Eze or an Anthony Gordon because I think Saka was running at him. And I don't think this day and age you can have a left winger and a right winger both running at defenders. I think you need one what's
Mm.
not going to run at them and one what is going to run at them, which I'm kind of creeping towards an Eze. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, I think what you said at the start, absolutely. We're all here to support England, and I think the Dala Diaries is right about Foden. Foden did look to me, just I don't know, he just didn't look on it. He looked there was something missing. from Foden. And, is that a long season? Is that, too much football being played? Is that, the fact that he's sort of run himself into the ground?
Yeah,
I am a big supporter. I love him. And I hate to say it because I'm an Arsenal fan after all, but I love watching Cole Palmer. Every
yeah,
time
so
I
do
watch Cole Palmer, he excites me.
same as
He's
well.
brilliant with the ball. He's brilliant at sort of making sort of creative runs. And, if he gets himself in the box, he'll score. And if he gets a penalty, he'll tuck it away as well. So, yeah, Stones, we can't do anything about. He's got to stay in the lineup. We just don't have the defensive strength to replace him. But what we could do is swap Foden for a Palmer. And I see where you're coming from with Eze. He's another one. Definitely, probably, almost certainly deserves some game time during the tournament. We've got so much talent, haven't we, Jamie? We've got so much on the bench that we could
100%.
bring on. And that's
100%.
great. That's a fantastic thing. We should celebrate that as England fans. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But for me, I'd just like to see Southgate include Palmer because I think he's going to do really well when he gets the opportunity.
Yeah, we have another comment in from Jack Moxon. I think that is Scottish Jack, if I am correct. I may be wrong, but can you let me know in the chat? My regular over on my TikTok. So big up, Jack. Up the Rangers, brother. I don't think I meant to say it in that way, but come on, the Rangers. Hello, sir. Good day to you, sir. Do you want to say hello to him, brother?
Hello, sir. Hello, Jack.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a one. I'm going to touch on another comment here by the Darla Diaries, and then we'll move
Mm,
on further with the player ratings. Then we will come back to some comments because otherwise we'll just be leading along with the comments. Towards the end, we'll come back to your comments, people. Darla Diaries has put Foden looked tired. Yep, I agree. He looked very, very leggy. And then people, what I want to touch on, I know we're going to get over to Phil Foden, but what I want to touch on, people, everyone said about him playing, he needs to play in his proper position. Yesterday, he did not play left wing, people. He did not play left wing. He played as the 10. What people
mm,
don't understand, I didn't see him on that left flank at all. He was
mm.
sitting in as a 10 and he did not play well. If you don't play well, you deserve criticism and there's players to come in, which I think should
Yeah,
come in. So,
yeah.
yeah, you agree with that?
I completely agree. Completely agree with the comment as well. I think it's a long it's a long season of football, and he's been probably Manchester City's biggest player, other than Haaland.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, and he's been, I think, he's fitter for longer. I think he did the whole season, didn't he? I don't remember him being injured in the Premier League season.
Yeah,
So yeah, he might just be knackered. And as you say, Jamie, we've got players to replace him. So
yeah.
let's
I
replace
do.
them for the next.
I do see the next comments, Ben, and the Darla Diaries. But what because we're talking about Foden, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move over to Bukayo Saka, and then we can move on over to Foden afterwards to come back to the
Mm,
comments because we got to stroll through a little bit. So Bukayo
mm,
Saka's got an 8, which I think I completely agree on. That first half, people, put respect on my boy's name. Put some respect on my boy's name, man. Because people out here beforehand on TikTok lives, I'm not saying you, Ben, because Ben, you're a Chelsea fan, but you backed Saka. But people beforehand, all over my TikTok lives, I bet you've heard questions. Palmer should come in over Saka. Palmer should come over in Saka. And this is exactly why he should not have. That first half, he was so good. He got at him. He got at that left back, and he had his pants down. He had his pants down. He was giving him a little tickle, and he was just going for it. He was going for it, the boy. He looked very, very good. He looked graceful. He got stuck in. He got fouled on 4 separate occasions. I've got the numbers on my phone. But I do think an 8 is justified. I think he looked leggy in the second half, like a lot of the other players. Bukayo Saka came into this with an injury and having played over 50 games for Arsenal. So I think he does have every right to be a bit leggy. And that's why I think it was the right decision being on Jared Bowen, even though I think that Foden should have come off a lot earlier than Bukayo Saka. But what do you think, brother?
Yeah, I mean, I think Saka was fantastic in the first half. I mean, do you know what he did? And this is something I've been calling for Saka to do for a long time. He ran at his man. He took on his man. He ran down that line and he got crosses into the box. And that was really what unlocked it for England with that Bellingham goal. And they look frightened of him at times, and rightly so, because he is an electric player and an 8 out of 10 does not flatter him. So 8 out of 10, perfectly justified. And yeah, leggy in the second half, but unsurprising. And he did brilliantly while he was on the pitch for the most part. So 8 out of 10 for Bukayo Starboy Saka.
That's the boy. Don't wear that name out, bro. It's so true. It's so
Yeah.
there was two star boys on that pitch yesterday, because obviously Declan Rice is a bit too old to be a star boy, and it was Jude Bellingham and Bukayo Saka rolling them hugging each other. Anyways, Ben Port, one of my loyal supporters. I love you loads, Ben Port, my brother. You're there since day one. You always support my channel, and I bid you to support the AGN channel as well, my bro. So go over and subscribe to that. And Ben's always in my YouTube lives, always on my TikTok lives. He's a mod for me on my TikTok. Thank you so much for all your love and support, people. I just want to put that out there right now, and all my loyal people. So I've gone up to 200 subscribers on YouTube. Over on TikTok, I'm nearly at 3,000, and that's after 6 to 7 weeks. I want to thank everyone, and I urge people to go check out AGN on YouTube as well, because he's a lovely fella. He's co-hosting with me right now, and he put some wicked content out there, people. So go check him out. So let's get to Ben's comment. Foden to be dropped, either Gordon. If you want someone pace, but Palmer would always the ball, and you see that the cross he puts in for Kane, which he missed versus Ice, so you can see what he can create. I 100% back it. I completely forgot to mention Palmer in that left wing discussion, because I kind of see him as a right winger for some reason, but he's a Chelsea fan. He would know better than me. So if Foden gets dropped, either Gordon, Eze, or Palmer, and I think Palmer could come in and have a chance. But I do think that Eze, when it's against a low block, is very good, because he can weave in and out. He gets plays in between the spaces. Whereas Denmark, I don't think will need that. So I think you're right. I do think you're right. It's either a Gordon or a Palmer. And you know what? Now you put Palmer there. That's changed my mind. I'd put Palmer in for Foden. But are they two similar players, two similar profiles? That's the only kind of thing I'm thinking. But I can back you, bro. I'll always back you, Ben. I respect the opinion. Whether I think it's the right or wrong one, I think I am backing you on this one, my bro. Go on over to you, my bro. What do you think?
Yeah. Hello, Ben. First of all, I'm AGN Football. So Jamie very kindly gave me. Oh, we just jumped off.
Hello, you still there, bro?
Yes.
You still there? Something just went bad on the laptop. Carry on where you were.
Okay. Yeah. Just saying. Thank you to Jamie for a very kind introduction. And it's good to see you on, Ben. Thank you very much for supporting Jamie and myself tonight, because I'm on with him as well. So, yes, Palmer, you're a Chelsea fan, great player, fantastic player. What I want to say about Cole Palmer is he's just electric, and he's excited me all season. And I don't normally get that excited by opposition players. You know what it's like when you support your club. You know, you're more interested in what your club's players are doing. But Palmer is very much an exception in that I just love watching him play football. He's a bit of an artist. So certainly for me, I said on my channel, I'd want Palmer in for Foden. I'm going to stand by that. I want to see Cole Palmer given a chance in the next game. And I think he will take his opportunity with both hands. Yeah, I mean, it will be very interesting to see what he does when he's given the opportunity. But Southgate's taken him. So you'd have to believe that he will give him an opportunity in one of the group games.
Yeah, moving on over to Phil Foden's stats here, and we'll give our whether we think seven's justified or not. Take-ons completed was 0. Crosses attempted was 1. 0 shots. Touches in opposition box 1. Chances created 1. Poor. Phil Foden 5 for me. 5.
Yeah,
And
completely agree with that, Jamie.
yeah,
I think 7 is very generous.
yeah, I think that's very generous, and I'm only being generous with it because it's the first game of the tournament.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
don't want to put, you know me, I'm a very
Yeah.
positive person when it comes to this team. I'm going to back my boys. When they deserve to be criticised, they deserve to be criticised. Phil Foden deserves to be criticised, but he deserves a 5, and we move. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, completely agree, Jamie. I think seven is ridiculously generous for me, and I agree with you. I think if this was deeper in the tournament, we'd be going a 3 or a 4, if I'm honest.
Yeah. This is Mike. So Mike from over Let's Talk Sports, I'm pretty sure, and that's under who the diaries, because I've just sent him a message saying I'm over on live. He currently he's on a radio station called Evolve Radio, and that's where I can give you a little bit of news, people, where I may be on a couple of weekends. I may be presenting over on Evolve Radio, so there's some good news for you people. So if you're enjoying the content, people, and you like that I'm going over on the radio, chuck me a comment, chuck me a like. But yeah, I may be going over with Mike, and if you want to drop down Evolve Radio, and I can pull it up on here as a plug. But he did miss 14 games last year for Manchester City. Are we talking Phil Foden? He missed 14 games. Let me scroll down because we might have another comment. Just to reiterate with what's going on there. Oh, and it's Mike, by the way. Hello, Mike, bro. I don't know if you're talking on John Stones. I think you are talking on John Stones, because I don't seem to remember Phil Foden missing out on 14 games. Do you remember Phil Foden missing out on 14 games? By the way, he's a Man City fan, so he'd know more than we would.
Yes. Foden missing 14. I don't think he missed that many, did he? Because I don't remember him getting any significant injury. But then again, as you say, I'm not the Man City fan. So,
Yeah, and I want to put this out there as well. Ben, who I'm going to drop here now. Ben is the least biased Chelsea fan I've ever probably met, where a lot of
respect.
Chelsea fans have such a biased delusion, just like a lot of us Arsenal fans do. I don't think I really do that much, but I don't know about you, bro. But yeah, I don't think I'm that delusional. Hey. But
No. I mean, the same here, bro. I mean, I've been doing content with a Manchester United fan and talking about Arsenal, Man United combined 11s. So
yeah,
I'm certainly not overly biased for my club. I love my club desperately, passionately, but no, I'm the same way as Ben and yourself as well, Jamie.
yeah, there we have it. So do you want to take the lead and read Ben's comment, bro?
Yeah, there was a time we were on a counter attack and he made a sloppy pass to Gallagher. I said he should get the same as Kane. 3, I would give him.
Go on, you've
Yeah,
heard the man speak.
yeah. I agree. I mean, I think if we were deeper in the tournament, we would be looking at 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. I
Yeah,
thought he was really, really poor, very, very forgettable performance for him. And I don't know where they've got a 7 from. Is that
neither do
because
I, bro.
we've won the game and they've somehow just given overly generous ratings? I think 7 is very, very generous.
Yeah, it's very. I think they're trying to be a bit, because the English media, what they're like. They've been like lately with agendas and stuff like that. I think they're just being heavy, very, very, very nice, because they're getting a bit
Yeah,
of backlash, and I think they're flapping their wings a little bit. Do you get what I mean? But they should have been
definitely.
doing that a long time ago. They should have been a lot fairer a long time ago.
Yes, yeah,
Because
true.
you know for a fact, if we would have lost that game 1-0, it would have been Bukayo who was the front page of that, probably.
Yes,
And that's what it
yes,
has been previously. I'm just
yes.
going to pull your comment away, Ben, so we can look at Harry Kane. Gamebit's in here as well. Gamebit is a regular for me as well, and I think he's been coming over to your channel too now, bro.
Yeah, Gamebit123. Yeah, hello again.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for jumping on last
yeah,
night, Gamebit. Nice to see
yeah.
you again.
He's normally on mine, and he's been on mine quite a few times. I think Gamebit has,
Excellent.
and I think he's moved over to you as well. So that's what we want, boys. That is exactly what you
Fantastic.
want. And he has
Brilliant.
said hello, and I say hello to you too, Gamebit. Let me know your opinions on England's game last night. Do you want to say hello to him, brother?
Yeah, hello, Gamebit123. Great to see you again. Thank you so much for supporting both of our channels. We do appreciate it very, very much.
Yeah. Now moving on to Harry Kane. I'm going to touch on Harry Kane. Um, there's two ways to describe this performance. The first one would be Spursy, Spursy. I'm going to take the agenda out. I'm only saying these things because we're Arsenal fans, but
Yeah.
I do think on one side of things he was very, very poor, and he was barely in the game, and he lost his 1v1 battle. So when you go into a football match, I said this over on the amateur podcast just before. Every football match I ever went in for, I've always said, if I win my 1v1 battle, that's at least a start. That is at
Yes.
least a start, and hopefully I can make some more movement on the game. Hopefully I can have a bit more about me in the game. But as long as I win that 1v1 battle, I'm letting them know I'm in a football match. I'll stand on you. I'll let you know I'm there. I'll jump
Yeah.
up and elbow you in the face. I don't care. I'll let you know
Yeah.
you're in a football match today. And the
Yeah.
defender did that to Harry Kane.
Yeah.
And my problem with Harry yesterday was he did give Jude a lot of space, and it did work for Jude because he dragged defenders out to let Jude come in and so on. So his movement was quite good. But I think
Mm,
specifically he was told not to come in because that's why Trent was playing that role.
mm,
If Harry Kane wants to come in and drop deep, Trent Alexander-Arnold does not need to be on the pitch because then Harry Kane can spray the balls about. I think that's what my problem with Harry Kane was yesterday. And if he would have stayed forward, Trent would have had a bit more space to roam. And Phil Foden and Jude Bellingham, because Phil Foden was coming in as the 10, and Jude Bellingham was playing alongside him as a bit further forward like this. Whereas if Harry Kane wouldn't have come so deep, it wouldn't have dragged so many players into a combust area, and Phil Foden would have had a bit more space to play around with the ball and make them triangles. Because in that first 20 minutes, Jude Bellingham and Phil Foden did play some nice football together in the first 20 minutes. And I know we put Foden down, but I do think they had a little good 1-2 movement going on here between him, Trent. They had a little triangle going on that left-hand side at one point, and then it just fizzed away. But I would give Harry Kane a 5. What would you give Harry Kane, brother?
I was thinking the exact same thing, Jamie. I think it's a 5 out of 10 performance. So again, for me, attacking wise, he was pretty toothless. If I'm going to be honest, where I would give him some praise was his defensive play. He did do some good
Mm-hmm.
things defensively, and that's why he gets the 5 for me, because his defensive performance was quite solid and quite competent. My criticism of him as well would be, and I was talking about this on my live last night. With England, we didn't seem to have with Harry Kane an outball. So you see normally in teams where somebody holds it up. So like Lacazette of yesteryear for Arsenal, he'd
Yeah,
hold the ball up and then he'd bring faster players into the game, and that would help with counter-attack transitions. Kane didn't really do that yesterday. He held the ball up once or twice. He won a few fouls. Made a very good block, I should add as well. That was on
he did.
target, that shot, and it was a very very good block. So he did the nitty gritty well, but I don't want to see Harry Kane doing that. I want to see Harry Kane putting the ball in the back of the net. And in fairness to him, it was a heck of a save. Can you really criticize him for the header? Probably not, because it's just an amazing save.
Yeah,
He hit the bar, but I'd have to give him a 5 as well, I think.
I think he should have come off for Ivan Toney at some point.
Yeah,
Because
that's a
I
very
think in that
sensible.
friendly, Ivan Toney did very well, and he would have held the ball up, and he would win that. He would win that battle against that defender, because that defender would have been a bit more tired then.
Yeah,
Ivan Toney
yeah,
comes on, he's a bit robust, and he's like, "Yeah, get out of my
yeah,
way," like that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I think Tony would have made a difference. You in agreement?
Yes. Yeah, completely. I mean, Tony's the only attacking player I've ever seen dominate Saliba and Gabriel in the
Yeah, me
Premier League.
too. Me too.
In that 1-1 a couple of seasons ago, he was
I don't. I
outstanding.
don't think. I don't think Saliba played.
Did he not play?
No, I
Well,
think he was on loan still that season, because that season we finished fifth. Saliba weren't part of the squad.
I
He's only
remember the
played for us when we
game.
challenged for the title. He's never played for us
Yeah,
when we were. Yeah,
it was Lee Mason gate, Jamie. It was the one where they gave the Brentford goal
yeah.
that shouldn't have stood. It was
When
that
it was at
game.
their ground when they first come up, weren't it?
Uh,
They first come up and they beat us first game of the season, and we lost the first 4 or 5 games of the season.
I think it was the 22-23
Oh,
season,
was it?
that game. Yeah, because I remember Trossard
When
scored
he
for
said
us.
play about in the park with the boys.
Uh, yeah, but I think it was Trossard that scored our goal, and I don't think Trossard was he, until January 2023?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Um,
I thought you meant, when he put up that tweet and he said a kick about with the boys in the park.
yeah, and of course Arteta used that as fuel, didn't he,
Yeah, and that
for
was the season
future
before that he
games?
did that. And then Saliba
Yeah,
went part of the squad.
so
But
it's the
maybe, yeah,
22-23 one I'm thinking
yeah,
of.
yeah. Well, either way, Tony can bully some
He bullied
defenders.
them.
Boy.
He
Yeah,
was a bully in the best way,
yeah,
and
definitely.
yeah, he ran all over
And
our
he has
defense.
bullied. Yeah, he
Yeah,
has bullied Gabriel and Saliba then, definitely. Game bit 1, 2, 3. I didn't mean to disagree with you, by the way, there. I just didn't
no,
know whether Saliba was playing, because I thought you were talking about that game
no, all good,
when
all good.
Brentford
Yeah.
first came up. Do you remember? And
Yeah,
we got battered.
we've had many Titanic battles with Brentford. They've been
Yeah,
around a while now, haven't they? To be fair
yeah.
to them.
So game bit 1, 2, 3 is put. I don't think Harry Kane was good, was invisible. Yeah, we've touched on that. I also agree with that one. I'm going to coach you through this
Mm.
now. Um, AGN Adam. So go to people, this is live. This is the first time he's using Restream, so I'm trying to coach him through the pod. So if you look on your right-hand side, Adam, it will say chat at the bottom.
Yeah.
Click chat.
Yeah.
Ben Port's comment, click where his comment is, and it should come up with view.
Show?
Yeah, show it. Show his comment.
Okay.
Yeah, but now come back over and put your screen on full so you can see the whole comment. You got it?
Yep.
There you go, bro. Now let us know what Ben said, bro.
If Saka had a poor game like Foden, there would be people saying Saka this and that, but because they won the league, I think Foden gets away with it. And like Jamie said, I love Saka and I'm a Chelsea fan. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you, Ben. I think if Saka had played as poorly as Foden, the English media would have been all over it, which is, completely wrong and something we really need to look at within the media. Saka gets way too much criticism and not enough praise, actually, for when he does well, which is shocking because he's one of our young lions. And he's going to be in an England shirt for many, many years to come. So I completely agree with you.
I'm in complete agreement. I've Ben, whenever he comes on my lives, I do agree with a lot of his opinions, to be honest, a lot of them.
Yeah.
And he's got great ball knowledge, and I think you are completely right there, Ben. And big up for the support, my bro. And I love Saka, so do you. And I love Palmer as well, because he's putting on an English shirt. Once he puts on a Chelsea shirt, I don't love him no more. But we take the English agenda out. We take the agenda out of the way for the league. And once it comes to these boys here, we put it aside. And just so you know, brother, I'm just trying to teach you how to do it along the way. I'm not being bossy or anything.
No, you're good, Jamie. You're good.
Yeah. So moving on. We'll move on to the subs. So if you want to come over, bro, you just press hide on the comment. Yeah, hide it. And then what we do, so we'll just pull the screen back up and then we'll get back to the next comment afterwards. Unless it's up to you. But I think we should get to the next one. So moving on to Conor Gallagher. While I touch on Conor Gallagher, bring up the comment, bro. So then we're ready to hit afterwards. A little bit of coaching. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing in the background. So I'm just showing AJ because it's the first time he's ever used Restream. So while I'm using the tab where I can scroll down and show everyone Sky Sports, he can pull up the comments and then we can just work as a little duo. We'll get a little flow going, which works out perfectly. So we'll move on to Conor Gallagher and then we'll get over to game bit 1, 2, 3. Conor Gallagher was brought on. England's energy levels dropped and the free lines did improve a little bit after the introduction. He was brought on because we were very, very slow. We were leggy. Trent had lost the ball a couple of times, and I see why he brought him on. I don't think he was that great, but I think a 6 is fair because I think a 6 is an average rating, and I think he didn't have much to show. He didn't have a lot of time, but he did come in, plug in a few little holes, won a few little battles here and there. So I ain't got really much to touch on Conor Gallagher. What about you, brother?
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, he came on, it was a bit sort of hustle and bustle, wasn't he? How he does for Chelsea, a little bit of sort of, he had that initial burst of energy, but then he was quite quiet and didn't do a huge amount after that. Like I say, I'm a little bit biased because I was disappointed by the substitution that Southgate made on that one. I really wanted to see Palmer go on in place of Gallagher instead of Gallagher, but yeah, I mean a six is sort of standard, isn't it? It's he did fine. He ran around, but he didn't really have a huge amount of time. It's hard to judge, isn't it? Over sort of 20, 30 minutes. It's much easier to judge over 90. So yeah, 6 out of 10 is fair enough.
Yeah, I think that's very fair as well. And game bit 1, 2, 3, Saka was great in the game. Yeah, he was 100% great. The first half, he was exceptional. Him and Jude ran the show in the first half, and so did Guehi. Guehi was very, very good. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to pull away your comment. We've got the Dial of Diaries here, which I'll quickly pull over and bring up. The only team. So this is Mike from Let's Talk Sports. So the only team who looked like winning. Sorry, I can't see some of it. The only team who looks like winning it so far is Germany, and I know they was only playing Scotland, but they look hungry, which I completely agree on. Germany looks
Mm,
very, very hungry. I think it was a bit of
mm,
both. Scotland were poor, but I think Germany were very, very good. I think the manager got it right for them completely, but I think that Scotland, in that first 20 minutes, even their manager did touch and say it's Julian Nagelsmann, isn't it? And I think he did touch that he expected Scotland to come out the traps, and they were nervous. They looked very, very nervous. But
mm.
Florian Wirtz, Florian Wirtz is a beautiful, beautiful footballer to watch on the eyes. Same as Jamal Musiala and Kai Havertz, King Kai for me, which I backed beforehand. I said he's up there for the Golden Boot winner, and that was before the tournament even started. So think what you will, people. What you thinking about that comment, bro?
Yeah, I completely agree with it. Actually, I think Germany by far have looked the most emphatic. They're on home soil, which of course goes in their favour in a tournament like this. And yeah, I can see them going very, very far. I think they'll certainly make the final. So we will see if they win it. But they have an incredible squad, and they look very, very up for it.
Yeah, I'm just going to touch on this comment here because this one's obviously for me. Mike,
Mm.
I'm going to be on for probably another 15, 20 minutes maybe. We'll just see. We'll just go with the flow here. But yeah, probably about 15, 20 minutes, I'd say, brother. But thank you for coming in and with the comment. We really, really do appreciate it over here, people. We
Yeah.
appreciate all the love and support. And just as I always say, hit that three punch combination. Bam, bam, bam. Hit it right now. Like, subscribe, comment. It doesn't cost nothing. It doesn't cost nothing when we're bringing out this great content for you people. I know it's only a podcast. I'm not jumping around, waving about, going absolutely mad. But if you're listening in on playback, just throw us both a follow and a like. We really would appreciate you, and we appreciate all the love and support. Moving on to Jared Bowen. Jared Bowen, I think, played very, very well when he came on. He surprised me about the substitution. I thought he was going to bring on a Cole Palmer. But Jared Bowen, I don't think Saka should have went off first. I think Foden should have went off first. But I do think that Saka, I did notice, I know people go limpy, limpy. I did notice that he started to carry a little bit of a knock, and I think that's a a niggle what keeps happening with him. And that's what we've seen last season because he did get fouled 4 times that game and he got booted. Same as Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham got booted and booted and booted and booted. Same as the guy at Saka. Because you think that player he was playing against on that left hand side, he was a big boy and he was booting him and he was pulling him and he was the dark arts of the game, which Serbia will do against England because we are the bigger side. But I think 7 is a fair rating. If he was on for another 10 minutes, I would have gave that a 7.5 and an 8. But actually, I am going to override. I'm going to give it a 7.5 because he defended very well. He blocked the ball. 1 point, it smashed him in the belly. And then he got forward straight away. That first minute he came on, I'm going to give him a 7.5. What about you, brother?
Yeah, I think the minute he came on, he made a really good run down the byline, clipped the ball in, and it could have resulted in a goal. So I thought Jarrod Bowen was very lively, very energetic. He ran at players, which is always what I want to see a winger do. And I thought he was very good. Of the two substitutes, he stood out, and he's given himself a look in for the rest of the tournament games. Well, certainly the group stage games. You know, he'll certainly get some more minutes. And I thought he had a very good performance. Yeah, no, it'll be very interesting to see how much he figures in the rest of the games.
Yeah, 100%. The Dala Dies put thoughts on Walker yesterday. I think we both touched on it. We said he was about a 7 rating. We didn't think
Mm.
he was too bad. We didn't think he was too good. I think it was one of them. He did his job. We kept a clean sheet and we kind of we move on from him because I don't think he was nothing that special. But we kept a clean sheet. That's all that matters at the end of the day, people. Moving on, because I think this is kind of towards the end of the segment, so we can look at some of the comments now more progressively. This is you. This is for you, brother. This one.
Yeah. AGM, what account is yours? Because when I type in AGM football, a few come out. Jamie, you and I talked about this, didn't we, mate?
Right, you see, bro. You see, it's got a
This is it.
picture of a red microphone, and it says AGN Football Network on it. I think maybe we need to change that. But this, you see, oh, you see, I do get a lot of these things right, whether it's football or even stuff like that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, and I want to jump in on this, Jamie,
Go on.
because what you were saying earlier. By the way, everybody who's watching this now or after the fact, Jamie is a wonderful bloke who's really helped me massively with starting up my whatever you want to call it, YouTube account. I've started doing this a couple of months ago, and Jamie's given me loads and loads of help. So if that's not a reason to go and subscribe to him if you haven't already. Please do. He's a great bloke, great knowledge, fantastic. So I can't say anything more positive than that. I've got
Thank
a
you, brother.
glowing recommendation for him. He's a top bloke.
Same to you, my
But
brother.
yeah, Ben, yes, the issue I've got is there are a couple of accounts with the same name. At the moment, I am considering mulling over another change. I was initially Ardent Gooners Network, but I changed to AGN Football. Now, the reason I did that is because I wanted to make more general football content. Because obviously I've done content creation with Man United fans, Liverpool fans, and I love football. Obviously, I love Arsenal the most, but I love football second. So, I wanted to have an account that sort of eclipsed all of that, if you like. So I am the third one down when you search on YouTube. I think I've got about 62 or 63 subscribers now, so I'm growing, and I've had a nice little uptick again, thanks to some good advice from my 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 mate here, Jamie, who's given
I've got
me
you,
some
bro.
really good advice along the way. We're up past that amount of subs you need to go live, which is why I'm live. And yeah, I'd love you to subscribe. It would be great to have you on the channel. So thank you
Yeah,
for
Ben.
asking.
Ben is a very top lad, and I've got so much love for you, Ben. He's done it. Thanks, bro. He subscribed to you. Big shout out to Ben if you're
Thank you
watching this
very
on
much,
playback.
Ben. Top
I
man.
I currently have 5 messages on TikTok saying they're all very similar, and they're saying, "I am intrigued to hear your thoughts on the game. Why are you not on TikTok live?" 5 messages saying it. People, I'm over here.
Yeah.
Predominantly, this is where I want to be. I do love doing my TikToks and that, my little content, my little filters and stuff, but predominantly I want to be over here. I want to be talking the big boy stuff. I'm not being big headed, but I think my ball knowledge is a lot better than
Amazing. Yeah.
sticking
Yeah.
some little filters on on my face and saying, "Oh, I think this person's better than this person's better than this person." But I do enjoy doing it, people,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
predominantly a lot of people have come over from my TikTok. This is where I'm getting this little community, which Ben is a
Mm,
part of, and Ben is a
mm,
very big member of my community. And I want to give a few people a shout out to be part of that community, which is Sparks. We've got Ben, we've got Emily, we've got Kev. We've got Johnny Boy. We've got so many people. I've probably got about.
mm.
I mean, we've got Eddie B. We've got Play Up Sky Blues Luke, which is Play Up Sky Blues for Coventry City. I've probably got about a community of about 30 or 40 people that come into my lives every single day. And that's
Yeah.
that. As soon as I go on, I know them people are going to be there. They're my mods. They're liking my stuff. So I do appreciate all your support, people. And I want to pass your support over to the AGN football as well, because we're all a big community. We're all a family. We all spread positivity. And I'm going to touch on one thing while we're talking about positivity, and that is mental health awareness. Where I always say this, people, look out for a loved one. Just shoot them a message. Someone you haven't spoke to in a while, just throw them a little message. If you're on the train or the bus and you're listening to me right now, even at work, take your headphone out and just go check in on someone today, because you don't know exactly how they're feeling today. So let's just show some love to people. Let's spread some positive energy in the air. Now we're going to move on over to a couple more of the subs. Let's move a little bit down. So Kobe Main, it just says not applicable. So that'll kind of be the last one for that.
Mm.
So have I just clicked something by accident? No, I have not. Uh,
No.
what good news for you, mate? So I'm assuming this good news for me here, which I probably will announce on the next one, is that um I will be hosting on radio for a couple of hours every weekend. My own little segment where I do a bit of music, which I have people. My football knowledge ain't. My football knowledge is up there, but my music is nearly enough as much up there as well. Where I go from anything from the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. We can go back to the Eagles. We can go to Journey. We can go to Bobby Brown. We can go to Chris Brown. We can go to wherever we want. So I'll be playing a bit of that, and I'll be doing some sports segments over football. So everyone go check out Evolve Radio. It's not on your normal radio station where you listen to it in the car. It will be on Alexa and on the internet version, where you can get on WhatsApp as well, and you can comment in and you can ask me questions. So I'm going to take my community over there, and we'll just go blow it up, people. We'll blow it up. That's what we're going to do. We'll take our whole community on there, and we can get people on as guests, because I'm going to be the one who's going to be hosting it. So why not, man? Why not bring some people over with us? And also Beanie, yeah, because he's just shouted Beanie out as well, and obviously Mike as well. These are people what are part of my community over on TikTok and over here on YouTube as well. So everyone, big up to all of you, including you, Mike, which is Let's Talk Sports. If you want to go check him out over on TikTok as well, people, if you're watching this on playback. Do you want to touch on anything before we kind of finish up, bro?
Just that you're going to do an outstanding job, mate. I know it. You're going to
Thank you,
do
bro. I really,
really,
really
really great.
appreciate it.
So yeah, absolutely. Only to endorse your message and to congratulate you formally on your amazing news. Really, really happy for you, mate. Top
Here we
stuff.
go. This is what he has just put. Jay is our new 3 to 5 every Saturday football show. So, people, if you're listening back here, I will be on radio over on Evolve Radio. If you go search it in now, just go. I want to hear them keys tapping. Evolve Radio over on the internet and on your Alexa app. And I'll be doing 3 to 5 every Saturday for the sports show. So we'll be talking all things sports by the looks of things, where I know a lot about boxing, I know a lot about cricket, I know a lot about football. I'm not too big on the basketball, but everything which I will do my research for beforehand. So everyone come check me out over there, 3 to 5 every Saturday. And big up Mike for being the middleman and getting me in there. I really do appreciate it. But for us here over on my Jamie Waffles footy, and I am on TikTok, I am Jake Gunner 17. You've heard me spread my love about mental health awareness, which we all need to get involved with. I'm going to start plugging a charity soon. Once I'm in the works with someone talking about their charity, and his name is Tabrice, and he's over on TikTok. So he's going to give me his charity name, and I'm going to plug it every single episode for some mental health awareness. I've been Jamie Gunner, Jamie Waffles footy, and I've had Adam with me here. Do you want to drop your plugs, brother?
Yeah, so I'm AGN Football on all of them now. We've got Instagram, YouTube, TikTok as well. Started off as the Ardent Gooners Network, but I've given you the spiel as to why I've changed to AGN Football. Would love to have you come and support my channel. So yeah, be very grateful, and I'm also on this journey that we're both on of growing and developing and doing lots and lots of exciting stuff. So it's a really exciting ride. So look forward to having you on it as well.
Yep. So everyone who's listening on my end, go check out AGN. We're gonna finish on Curtis Daly's comment, which is obviously he's part of the community as well. He's part of Adam's community. He said, "Congratulations on the landing the DJ assignment." Wickle wickle well well. I've got my mic ready. I've got the headphones. I'm gonna have to start plaiting my hair or something to keep it out my eyes, boys. But there we have it. It's been lovely to speak to you, Adam, and it's been lovely to everyone who's put the comments in. Much love and respect to everyone. So everyone, it's peace and stay blessed from me over at Jamie Waffles Footy, and for the same.